113, the Kings win today, 2022. They're 1-0. Yes, I'm a bit optimistic because it was a fun game. And even though I know that the Kings are still not a good team, Kings fans gotta celebrate the wins that don't come very often against good teams like the Miami Heat. The Heat are now 23-14, and the Kings are 16-22, sitting in the 10th seed. That's right. False hope? Yes. But it's a new year. And like I said in my final post of 2021 after that awful loss, I said, I hope that 2022 doesn't get worse. Can it get worse? Absolutely. You can be the Thunder, you can be the Pistons, you can be one of these tanking teams and just be like, damn, like, I don't even want to watch these games. See, that's the big distinguishing factor between being in full tank mode to being like in the middle of mediocrity, but still talented enough to win some games and string a streak together to where you could put yourself in a situation to potentially make the playing game. I rather, the Kings choose that option per se. But as of right now, they definitely still got to make a move. It's written on the wall. Monty McNair has his hands tight, and he needs to make some changes without question. I know it's a new year. I know they 1-0, and I know they beat the Heat today. But it's one game. The Kings do this very often. They'll win a game and get fans excited, and then they'll go back and get blown out or lose to a bad team, which, again, they are a bad team as well, but you get what I'm saying. It's happened far too often in the last 15 years. But yeah, man. Shout out to Medici Sacramento, Valley Tire Center, as always, for supporting the Cowbell Kingdom platforms. Shout out to them. It means a lot. Happy New Year's to everybody. I know it's a late show, but family stuff got in the way, and I just watched Spider-Man, and I wasn't as impressed. I mean, it was a good movie. It was good, but it's still not one of my top, favorites. To be honest, I thought Black Widow was better, and some people may think I'm crazy, but I really enjoyed the message of Black Widow. I really enjoyed Spider-Man, don't get me wrong. I thought it had its really good moments, and I just thought some of them were like, okay, well, but it's a Marvel production, so I expected a little bit more from them. I did like how they brought back the old Spider-Mans, right? But still, I was just like, it's cool, but it's not. I feel like a lot of people gassed it up to where it was like the best Marvel movie ever, and I'm like, ugh. You say things like that, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna hold it to a higher standard. So, it is what it is. How you doing, Noah? What's up, brother? How's everybody doing? For the people that might watch this tomorrow, Happy New Year's. God bless you guys. Jimmy Butler had a chance to tie the game and send the game into overtime, and we'll get some sound bites right now from Buddy Hield and De'Aaron Fox. But I like what they did. They made it very tough on him to make that layup. Yes, he blew it. Let's be honest. He blew it. He should have used the backboard. But De'Aaron Fox coming from the weak side all the way, I think he was guarding Kyle Guy to, try and get in the way. And then Damian Jones trying to get in the way. Shout out to Damian Jones, by the way. Double-double tonight. Hell of a basketball game. His first start. I think it was his first start. He finished with 18 and 10. Very good game. He is, again, solidifying himself, if you're not convinced already, as the primary backup on this team. The kid just has it. He's a good basketball player. He rebounds, he blocks shots, he's a good rim runner. His offensive game is getting better every single game in terms of being able to throw the ball into him and, him having the dexterity and the skill to finish around the rim, which is always a plus from a rim running big. But they made it tough on him because Jimmy Butler scored the shot to tie the game, then De'Aaron Fox again. See, that's where I separate Fox and Haliburton, and we'll get into that later. The ability for De'Aaron Fox to draw fouls, and the big thing is, can you make your free throws? We've seen him miss a lot of free throws in the clutch. Tonight, it changed. Tonight, he hit two big ones, putting the Kings up 115-113, and it still gave the Heat a chance. And the Heat had their best player take the game-tying shot, and he missed it. I thought it was a very entertaining game, a very fun game. 115-113. It was fun. Let's take a look at what De'Aaron Fox had to say after the game.
Figuring out a way to be more consistent and figure this thing out moving forward.
I think it's definitely big. I mean, Alvin talks about it. It's not many games between the 5th, 6th seed and the 13th seed in the West. So, we control our own destiny throughout the rest of the season. Like I said, we need to just stay on a steady pace rather than being on a roller coaster. And I think because we were up 4 in the third quarter and they hit us. But I think we have to stop being that team that gets hit first and then seeing how we reply. But I mean, we definitely responded well tonight, and we were able to grind this one out.
That's right. The Kings were able to grind this one out. He said it perfectly. There isn't much separation from teams 4 to 10. Yeah, the Memphis Grizzlies are 23-14, and they're playing well, and they were playing well without John Morant. Maybe you can just, sketch them in there as a playoff team for sure. Okay. But I would say 6 to 10, right? And to me, the Nuggets are a top 4 team if they were healthy. So let's just say first top 3 teams are in their own league. Then you can have Memphis and Denver as those guys trying to peek in. They're good, but they're not at that level. But then you got the Clippers, Lakers, Mavericks, Timberwolves, and Kings, and the Blazers, right? And the Spurs. I mean, you really can't count the Spurs, but you're right there. If you make the right move, you can separate yourselves and join the Grizzlies and the Nuggets, right? Which is the tier under the top 3 teams. I truly, truly believe that if the Kings make the right moves, they can get to that level. They are right there. This is a season to make it happen. Monty McNair needs to make it happen. He needs to, man. Noah says, so I still don't think this was a great game, but better than normal. But it's amazing how many games we could be in if Fox continues to get the calls in the lane. And, obviously, hitting his free throws. Also says, and Jimmy Buckets is making the final shot 8 out of 10 times to tie the game. 100% agree with that, Noah. Fox actually hit 4 big free throws down the stretch. It just wasn't the last 2. The 2 before that it was just as big. I agree with that. So, De'Aaron Fox, it's just, it brings back the bad memories of him hitting all his free throws and then missing those 2 against Charlotte. When they lost that game, that started a domino effect. It really did. And after that, they were getting blown out, giving up like 70, 75 points at the half, right, to the Raptors. To who was the other team they played? I don't recall, but it was Charlotte, the Raptors, and somebody else, and they allowed 70 plus every single time at the half, which was just embarrassing, right? But you got to make your free throws, man. In this league, if you're a point guard, if you're part of this upper echelon group of guards, like I had Fox with SGA and John Morant last season, you got to be able to make those free throws, man. And, on the last show, I said it. I believe John Morant and SGA are now ahead of De'Aaron Fox. Whether some Kings fans like that or not, it's just the truth, man. Until Fox proves otherwise, he is more than capable of being in that group. Make no mistake about it. But as of today, the way all three of these guards have performed, De'Aaron Fox has not lived up to his talent. He has not lived up to his capabilities that he showed last season, and being compared to these types of guys who have taken another step, not just from an individual perspective, but from a team aspect as well. Um, and I say that with SGA definitely individual because his team sucks and it's not really his fault. And they are still very competitive on most nights. And for a team that lacks a lot of talent and is definitely tanking and has a ton of picks, he's doing the best he can to try and elevate his teammates. I think he just won, was it Player of the Month or Player of the Week? The kid is good. SGA is really good. So to me, those two, John Morant and SGA, surpassed him. But Fox could get back into the conversation without question. I truly believe that. What's up, El Lobo? Fox played like last season. He was really good in the fourth. Ashley, good game. Nice to see Kyle Guy again. You know, it's funny about Kyle Guy because I had people telling me in the DMs that he was going to torture the Kings. He had a really good game in the previous game. And I was like, I highly doubt it. And he didn't. He finished the game with... Who finished the game with today? He finished with 24 minutes, 3 of 8, 0 of 2 from beyond New York, 7 points, 4 assists. He had a really nice dime. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, it was nice. You know, he got the switch. He drove past him at 2. He just, bounced past that underneath the rim, right? Like, running in stride. And I think it was Caleb Martin who cut weak side and just executed to perfection. That is Miami Heat basketball at its finest. You gotta love it. They play the right way. They, with all these dudes and so many people missing, they play the right way. They're keeping this team afloat. They're 23-14. That's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good for all the things that they've had to overcome this season. And again, a lot of teams have been getting hit with the whole COVID. Again, man, like the Heat, it's a real culture. It's a great organization. And they were just in the finals 2 years ago, right? Fox won Player of the Week twice last season. Yeah, man, like I said, man, Fox is right there in terms of talent. I'm his biggest fan, but let's be honest. Right now, John Morant SGA has surpassed him. Okay, so let's take a look at. Is it another? As a matter of fact, let's take a look at what the other comments that Fox had to say.
Ball, with whoever setting a screen, they blitzed a lot. And then when they had Jimmy out there at the 5, they switched everything. So it was just to try to use their aggressiveness against them, continue to get downhill. I wouldn't say they're a great shot blocking team, but they do get they generate a lot of steals. They get deflections. So knowing that they'll swipe, the NBA is different. Guys have learned how to, even if you don't want to hit their arm. So like I said, they generate a lot of steals. Knowing that they're swiping, it's just use your skill, use what you've been taught.
And then just the way you guys defended that final play, kind of take us through that. What did you see with, seemed like a lot of you guys formed on.
Yeah, a lot of times you put a longer defender on the ball because Kyle took the ball out. So the first time I stayed on him and I asked if we wanted to put Mezzi on him and let me guard someone that was running around, and they said no. It was just for me, just being able to read, knowing where I need to go at what time, and knowing obviously Kyle Lowry is a great shooter, but I just tried to take something away, try to make Jimmy catch it as far out as he could because I think it was 4 or 6 seconds left. He drove, and I actually came all the way over because there was probably no way he could make that pass all the way to the opposite corner and get it off in time. And we just tried to make the shot on him difficult. Obviously you don't want to give up a 3 to lose, but worst case scenario, he has to make a tough two to go to overtime. And I think we were able to challenge the shot well, and he missed it.
Yes. Love the awareness of knowing how many seconds you have left, understanding that if he comes across to help and just get in the way, right? Just make things tough on Jimmy Butler. It would have been super difficult to make that pass to Kyle Guy. Heads up play. He does it again. He did it against, who was it? Not the last game, but the second to last game, right? When I was like, damn. They switched that pick and roll. He understood that he was trying to guard whoever the... Okay, now I just have to go back and see who it was that they played. Oh, it was the Mavericks. Sorry, it was back-to-back Mavericks. It was the first game, right? It was the play before the buzzer beater, and De'Aaron Fox understood what Brunson wanted to do, right? He knew that he was gonna get a switch, but he brought the switch to De'Aaron Fox, made it super difficult. Then Porzingis shot the air ball, and then the Kings shot clock violation, timeout. They drew it up, and you guys know the rest. Shemezi Metu hits the buzzer beater to win that game, and then they just lay an egg on the following game, which was the last game of 2021. But these are the moments where you start to notice that De'Aaron Fox is more than capable of making game-winning plays. Not just with his offense, putting pressure on defense, but actually playing heads-up defense at a high level. I mean, that's a heads-up play. Whether you think it's logical, yes, it's very logical, but a lot of dudes don't understand that. And they'll make mental mistakes, and they'll break down and allow silly things. I see it all the time. So 2 out of the last 3 games, De'Aaron Fox has made the right play, heads-up play, good anticipation skills. So shout out to him, man. I'm loving it. I truly am. Let's take a look at one of those earlier comments.
Just took over in the fourth quarter. Was that your intention?
I mean, it's kind of just the way that the game went. I made some plays, and the team definitely trusted me. And obviously, we still have Ty out there to make plays for us down the stretch. But I think it was, like I said, it wasn't really a game plan. It's just kind of how the game went, and we were able to finish this one out.
Okay, so I like what he just said, which is interesting because he said, well, Ty's out there still to pretty much make a play. And so he's acknowledging that Ty is the initiator, which is super interesting, right? Maybe I'm reading too much into it. You let me know in the comments below. But it's a fascinating revelation, at least to me, how things are starting to fall into place. With that said, this team still needs to make a move, whether it's trading De'Aaron Fox for a Jaylen Brown. I'm still on the fence about Ben Simmons in terms of a Fox for a Simmons. I would not do a Fox for Sabonis. I would not do a Fox for Julius Randle. I would not do a Fox for whoever the hell else they've been talking about. I used to say no, I wouldn't do a Fox for Simmons, but now I'm definitely considering it. But it's still a no in terms of put a gun to my head and make a decision type of thing. Like, I'd be like, I'm still on the fence. Some people are like, no, I'm ready to make it, which is fair. I'm talking about me right now. I feel that I can't move Fox unless I get Jaylen Brown in return. However that deal would work, I don't know what the logistics of the deal would be, but I need Jaylen Brown in return if I'm trading De'Aaron Fox, right? That type of talent, I got to get the best possible return trade if I have to move this kid. because Fox is that talented, right? So that's where I'm at. But I still like the fact that obviously very good fourth quarter. Still acknowledge, he's acknowledging now that Tyrese is there. Like, it's a real thing. And I was talking to some people at the gym when I was hooping the other day, and everybody always asks, well, why can't Fox show that type of want on defense all the time? I'm like, dude, like it's really difficult to play both ends at a high level all game long, especially when the load is so heavy on you, right? When you've been the offense for such a long time, but now with Tyrese initiating the offense, getting everybody involved, that has allowed Fox to preserve more energy to now apply it on defense. So that's a new thing, and hopefully it continues. Ty had a good game today. I wouldn't say it's a great game, but he had a good game, right? Final box score was 12 assists and 9 points. 3 of 6. He needs to be more aggressive. Point blank, period. I've said that, and Buddy had a great game, right? 26 points, 7 to 14 from beyond the arc, 50%. But your starting guard can't have 9 points. I don't care how you slice it. You got to put up at least 15 points a game for me. You got to. I get it. They won. We're all happy. Nobody's complaining. But he needs to put up more shots and look to score. That is his biggest weakness, is his lack of aggressiveness on a lot of nights. He'll go on a little streak where he's like, he went on the streak where he put up 20 and 10, I believe. But taking 6 shots total, 1 shot from beyond the arc, which again, he's a very good 3-point shooter now. You got to be more aggressive. You got to be. Right now, what's he shooting from beyond the arc? He's shooting 42%, 42.7, and 81% from the free throw line. You got to find a way, man. You got to find a way. Ashley says, we currently are in the play-in tournament, hoping we can get a win streak to continue moving up. Agreed. A Fox for a Jalen. Yeah, those would be the main pieces moving. But what would the exact trade be? I have no idea. I truly don't know how the Celtics value Fox. I would say pretty high just because both teams, in my opinion, need a shakeup. Both teams would benefit from this type of move, just from a fit perspective, because for the Celtics, you would now have your guards for the future, the present, to go along with his classmate and Jason Tatum, a very good friend of his, as a matter of fact. And then you would have Tyrese as your now center point guard. No more excuse. Let's see what he has, right? But now you got a running mate who can get you buckets, score on all 3 levels, play defense. But, man, does he scare me in terms of injuries. Availability is your best ability. And Jaylen Brown, man, he be missing some important games, and he has his entire career because he plays off of his insane athleticism, which at some point you got to just, again, like the Kaepernicks and all these amazing athletes of both sports, sometimes people are like, well, you really can't control these guys. They are who they are. But I'm like, yeah, but you just got to play a little bit smarter. You don't got to try and dunk on everybody every single time, because guys take exceptions to those types of things and they try to, hit you. I'm not saying they're going like there's a hitman after these dudes, but you get what I'm saying from a competitor's perspective. If you're trying to dunk on everybody every single time, man, and just sometimes your recklessness to get a highlight could cost you an abundance of games. So That's where it scares me from a guy like Jaylen Brown, is just his availability. But in terms of if he's on the floor every game, man, that'd be a nice fit. That'd be a nice fit. Scratched myself pretty damn hard. His streak, Leo, came mostly when Fox wasn't playing. And again, Tyrese's streak of let's just call it right now because I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, 20 and 10. A lot of those games were blowouts. That's what I just dislike about a lot of Kings fans, where they see a positive and then they'll spin it in their heads, put it out on social media, be it Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is, and then they'll say, well, he's better than Fox because he's averaged 23 and 10. But I'm like, they've gotten blown out in half of those games with him at averaging these types of numbers. De'Aaron Fox averages 25 and 7 for an entire season, and all of a sudden Tyrese is a better basketball player. These are the things that don't make sense to me, man. And I get it. When you've lost as a Kings fan for 15 plus years, you try and hold on to any positive you can because that's just the way it is, right? But sometimes you just got to sit back and be realistic and be like, okay, he's not better than De'Aaron Fox. Stop the madness. Stop the nonsense. He's not a better basketball player than De'Aaron Fox. It's just, there's just no way. And I love Tyrese, man. Like I'm a huge fan of Tyrese, but he's not a better basketball player. He's not more valuable than De'Aaron Fox, league-wide on this team. The jury is still out. I know he's had a great streak of games, and I know he's shown a lot of promise. Not taking anything away from him. All I'm saying is be very careful when you say he's a better basketball player and you're just willy-nilly about getting rid of De'Aaron Fox. Oh, we have our point guard now. I'd be like, he's the second coming of Chris Paul. And I'm like, he put up 9 points today. And they've gotten blown out in half of the games where he put up 20 and 10. Come on, man. Come on. Be smart, Kings fans. Be smart, my man. My women, men and women. He defers way too much to Fox when they play together. The ball with those two on the court needs to be moving a lot more, with a lot more players moving off the ball. Agreed, man. Good stuff there from Noah. Let's take a look at what Buddy Buckets. Let's screen share this. Let's see what Buddy Buckets had to say.
Hats off me because they know I'm capable of doing. But the nights like that, I just gotta find ways to get my team open, set a lot of back screens, and even tonight I was able to set a couple of back screens, get Jamezi open a couple of times, a couple of lobs, and just play basketball and play with the rhythm.
You know what type of shooter you are. You were 7-10 tonight behind the line, but you were aggressive doing that.
Yeah.
Talking about being aggressive. That seemed like that was the mindset you want to come out with tonight.
Yeah, for sure. This is a new year, and the last year's behind us, and just come with aggressive mindset and aggressive approach each and every game. Just be myself and have fun playing basketball.
Buddy, when you see De'Aaron get to the free throw line like he did and be as effective as he was tonight, how big of a lift does that give you guys?
It's tremendous lift. He's the head of the snake, and what he does it well. And obviously even today, I was telling him make sure you lock in, and he was locked in. And even those 2 cut 3 throws, he was locked in. And he's able to redeem himself again. It was, and like say the NBA, you always give you a chance to redeem yourself. Always, it always comes back to you. And he's been working hard, and it shows.
You mentioned a minute ago about how teams have defended you at times. When you see the base of those back picks, does it make it more difficult just the way this team is set up for you to navigate through those waters, or is it still just kind of like a work in progress for you to kind of find those moments?
I mean, it's always frustrating when you, as a scorer, as a shooter, you can get really looks you want to get, but then you have to be selfless and then make other plays for use your ability to get other teammates open, like setting back tricks. And they mess up, you reward your teammate with another 2 points, and that's on the Fox and Ty to make that pass, and just send them back shifts and put me in more actions, and me just back cutting more and just trying to get open easy twos, and because they're playing on my top side, so just doing stuff that I know I capable of doing now.
Good stuff there from Buddy. Good stuff there from Buddy. For the fans, just a recap of what he just said is, well, first, De'Aaron Fox has had a snake. I think that's very apparent for anyone who wants to neglect that or try to avoid those facts. It's truly up to you. But I played that because people need to understand that the best player on this team is De'Aaron Fox. He is the head of the snake. They will go as far as De'Aaron Fox takes them. And it's a great point of what Noah said, which is Fox is more than the baller. He shows up and goes off. Hallie is more of a traditional point guard, just a little taller, just everything well, but nothing at an all-NBA level. It's a great point, man. And until Tyrese does that for a full season, 20-10, I'll be the first to say, I was wrong. But too many times we've seen this story of taking less than 10 shots a game, scoring less than 10 points a game. He's not there yet. We all want him to be there. Is he capable? Can I see it in a year or two? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm talking now. The Kings got to make the playoffs now. There has never been such a window of opportunity to make the playoffs the way this season has gone so far for a lot of teams. All these teams with subpar records, barely at 500 or under 500 or just above 500, they're right there, man. And in previous years, that wouldn't be the case. So if you're the Kings, you got to make a move. What move? We'll see. We truly will. I've already told you guys how I feel, where I'm at with De'Aaron Fox, where I'm at with Tyrese. If he can get better, if he can get a Sabonis with the Fox and Tyrese is part of that, you got to do it. You got to pull the trigger. If you want to go Ben Simmons and Tyrese, I guess I'm still not convinced. I'll be very honest. There's a lot to be discussed there, but let's finish off the show with going down the box score. Marvin Bagley gets to start again, 20 minutes, 1-3 from beyond the arc, 6 points, 5 rebounds. He is who he is. Don't expect anything more. That's just what he is, right? I've been saying that for a while. Very consistent with that. He'll show sometimes that he's better than what he is, and then he'll come back to who he really is, which is a role player. And that's not a bad thing. It comes down to a lot of fans accepting that is who he is. Harrison Barnes, 10 points, 4-7. Not a great game. It's not a terrible game, but he can be better. Damian Jones, exceptional game, 18-10, 3 assists, 7-10 from the field, 0-2 from beyond the arc. He had a good game again. Good rim runner. He's getting better under the basket with his moves. I like the development of Damian Jones. He has solidified himself as the backup center of this team with the potential to spot start, right? When you get these types of crazy things with COVID, and I just feel bad for Holmes, man. He's trying to get back into flow things, right? With the eye thing, and then another setback with COVID. It's tough, man. There's no rhythm and no flow. Then you got Fox again, good game. Haliburton, okay game. Metu, 15 minutes, 6 points. Okay game. Harkless, whatever, 5 minutes. Thompson, 2 minutes. Alexander, 17 minutes, 4 points. Had a good game, I would say. Davion Mitchell, 19 minutes, 12 points. 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. He's getting better, man. 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. The shot is clean. He's a gym rat. It's only a matter of time before that shot starts to fall. Okay. And obviously, he's always going to provide that dog defense. Just a dog there. Buddy Hield, 33 minutes, 9 of 18, 7 of 14. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 26 points. Hell of a game from Buddy. Definitely gave the Kings the lift off the bench tonight. Go over some of these last comments. Noah says, what reason do you think Hallie doesn't put up the shots, wanting to just be a team guy, trying to play point guard too much? I would say trying to play point guard too much, and just his instincts, man. Just as a player who plays very similar to him and myself, sometimes I catch myself not take, because I'm a relatively good shooter as well. So sometimes I'd rather pass the ball and get people involved than to actually shoot the ball when I should have shot the ball. And instinctually, he wants to get everybody involved. It's just an instinct thing, and it's not something that. It's not like he doesn't have the green light to shoot, because everybody wants him to shoot. And even though it's not the prettiest of shots, it goes in at a high clip. So his coaching staff, his teammates, they're not dumb. They want him to shoot more. But instinctually, he wants to get everybody involved. And it's such a battle. It's such a fine line, because he's such a high-level IQ player that he understands how momentum works, how to move defenses with his eyes. Just a great feel, right? He's an exceptional passer. So it's so hard, man, when your best skill is to get everybody involved. And even though you are more than capable of shooting these shots, you prefer to get everybody involved. It's just, it's going to come with time. It truly is. So, but right now, I'm talking right now, that is why I'm so adamant on making the right move and starting to build the culture by making it to the playoffs. Like, once you make it, you get this huge sigh of, of all this pressure, and then you just build, right? You just build after that. And sometimes you got to sacrifice good players to get other good players in return. Can they make the play in this year with this team? Absolutely. But that's all it's going to be. So, man, the Kings needs to make a move, man. Ashley says, Marvin is getting minutes because the Kings are going to move him. Yes, he is. Glad to see him playing better, but we won't be in the Kings jersey for much longer. I agree with that. They're definitely just featuring him to the league, see what he can do. You're just hoping that you get a second-round pick for him at this point. If he can land a late first and there's a GM that believes in him, all it takes is one, good for Monty. I wouldn't bet on it, but we'll see. Hoping for that, hoping for the best. But that's going to do it, y'all. Short and sweet, 38 minutes in. It was fun. Welcome to 2022. It's still Sunday. We're still 45 minutes out from the 3rd of January. You guys can catch the top highlights of this week already published. I think I did it like 20 to 30 minutes before I came on live. I apologize for not coming on earlier, but life got in the way. Family comes first, man. God bless you guys. I love you guys so much, and the people that watch this tomorrow. Thank you guys. If you guys have any comments, any questions, make sure you guys drop them below. Noah says last NBA question. Okay. There are rumors here in Memphis. I'm gonna let my boy Noah finish his thought, but go ahead. It was fun, man, and just stay tuned for some good content this year. I'll get back on the film session breakdown grind. It needs to happen. I'm still in the process of editing episode 1 of the 2-minute drill for Apple TV. Well, I can't say that yet. It's still on Amazon Prime, but we'll see. TV show, super excited. I'll definitely give you guys the details of what's to come with that project, which has been the biggest project consuming my life right now. Okay. There are rumors here in Memphis that Bane, the first rounder this year, the 3 first-round picks, another. But Oh, okay. So it would be Bane. It's like 4 picks in Bane. Yeah, like if I'm Memphis, I do it in a heartbeat. That's not even. And I love Bane. You know, potential MIP, right? Most improved, but it's about gathering talent at the end of the day. If you can put John Morant and Jaylen Brown together, holy moly. Oh man. Holy moly. So yeah, trade Zaire, trade Bane, trade. Bro, that. Wow. That would be nice. Memphis would be the 4th best team for sure. Like for sure. For sure. That's going to do it, y'all. Thank you guys so much. And on behalf of the entire Basketball Zone family, we thank you and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.